Hey there, it's Clara from AcuPro Academy, and today's Made Easy video is all about the acupuncture points of the pericardium meridian. Before we go into this video, I just want to remind you that if you want more of all my creations, videos, PDF, courses, you can go to acuproacademy.com. I have a resource page and tons of great TCM goodies. Also, don't forget, you can follow me on Facebook. I post every single day at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And so if you want more, get in there and like my stuff, share it. And I would love it if you leave me comments because I love this community of people that really, truly are passionate about TCM like I am. I'm also on Instagram if you want to check me out there. I use Instagram stories a lot, so that's a lot of fun as well. And of course, subscribe to this channel on YouTube so you are not going to miss all the videos that I release all the time. Thank you very much for being here, taking the time to be here. So without further ado, let's start with the pericardium acupuncture points. So the pericardium, when I teach the Zhang Fu theory to my students, they always have the same question. They always ask, where does the pericardium fit in? Because after all, there are 5 Zhang organs, but 6 Fu organs. So the Sanjiao has its own place, but its counterpart, the pericardium, seems to be absent from the TCM theory of the Zhang Fu theory. So it's not because the pericardium is viewed as an extension of the heart only. It doesn't make it less important. It's just for some reason they're not mentioning it a lot, and which is too bad because the pericardium, specifically the acupuncture points of the pericardium meridians, are fantastic to protect the heart. The pericardium is the protector of the heart. Specifically, if heat or fire invades the mind, the pericardium function is to stop it from entering the TCM heart mind. It literally protects the mind mostly. It also provides blood circulation to the heart. It's in charge of our relationships to others, right? So I think that's fantastic. That's a great meridian for that. And it connects to the Mingmen fire, or the gate of vitality, the Mingmen fire, and its ability to help keep an open mind. So really the pericardium is in charge of connecting us to keep an open mind. So not getting all frustrated and anxious and irritable all the time, but just step back. When the pericardium is strong, we can do that. So I think it's fantastic. The pericardium definitely gets affected by excess heat or excess fire, which creates issues. So we're going to see with all the points, there's a lot of creating heat, I was going to say. There's a lot of points that actually clear heat in the pericardium. So the pericardium meridian is a hand Juayan meridian. So it means that it starts at the chest and finishes at the hand. So it's a hand meridian that finishes at the fingers or at the hand. It starts at the chest and goes all the way down to the middle fingers. As you can see, it has 9 acupuncture points bilaterally. And of course, those are all the special points. So we're going to go through all the points very quickly. This is an easy video just to try to help us remember and connect with those points which are fabulous. So pericardium 1. Pericardium 1 is located 1 sun lateral to the nipple on the 4th intercostal space, or 5 sun lateral to the midline on the 4th intercostal space. It is really a good point for local issues, specifically suffocation or sensation of suffocating in the chest, like we can't breathe and we feel like we have chest pain and we can't take a breath. It's also really good to spread lung qi for chronic cough and stopping wheezing. And of course, it is connected to the ribs area because of its location, and it's a great point to use when there is rib pain. Pericardium 2 is the only pericardium point on the upper arm. It is located 2 sun below the level of the anterior axillary fold between the 2 heads of your bicep muscle. This is a great point, like most of the pericardium point, for pain in the chest or chest pain with palpitation, cardiac pain, chest-related pain issues. It's also really good for local issues like arm pain, of course. So it's very much a local point or specifically chest pain, and it can be used for chronic cough as well. Pericardium 3. I love Pericardium 3. I love all Rossi points, specifically Rossi point at the elbow. So the location is at the transverse cubital crease or elbow crease, and it's at the ulnar side of the tendon of the biceps brachii. So on the ulnar side of the tendon of the bicep brachii. On the radial side is long 5, and on the ulnar side is pericardium 3. So pericardium 3 is a Rossi point, and like all Rossi point at the elbow, one of the main functions is to clear heat or drain the heat and cool the blood. All the Rossi point at the elbow do that. So this one specifically is great for when there is a lot of heat in the heart, creating severe vomiting and diarrhea. That would be smelly diarrhea and chunky vomiting, sorry for that. Or also for people that have cardiac pain or palpitation, specifically worse with heat, and that probably have high blood pressure. It also calms the mind, specifically for anxiety and panic attack, specifically when people feel, really hot, and then they start getting more panicky and there's heat that rises. It's also used for hand tremors or arm tremors, so that can be used for that as well, but mostly it's to drain heat conditions. Pericardium 4. Pericardium 4 is located on the forearm, on the anterior part of the forearm, 5 tsun, directly above the transverse crease of the wrist, between PC3 and PC7. So 5 tsun above, between PC3 and PC7. It is the Shiklev point of the pericardium meridian. So if you remember, Shiklev points are in charge of issues with blood and issues with pain. So the pericardium 4 is really good to remove blood stasis and clear heat when there is nosebleed or coughing blood or vomiting blood. So that's its relationship to blood. It really address those issues. And then it's also for pain, so it's used for chest pain and palpitation. It is also used for anxiety because it calms the mind like most pericardium points. And it can be used for epilepsy attack or preventing epileptic attack. Or spasm, I guess I should say. Pericardium 5. So pericardium 5 is located 3 tsun above the transverse crease of the wrist. So 3 tsun on, again, the anterior part of your forearm, 3 tsun above the wrist or the crease of the wrist, between the tendons of the palmaris longus and the flexor carpi radialis. This point is a Jing River point, and it's also an intersection of the 3 yin arm meridians. So at this point, pericardium, heart, and lung connect all those 3 meridians. So because of that, it is really a strong point. It is going to be used for, of course, again, palpitation and chest pain, but it's also used to bring down stomach chi, specifically for nausea or stomach pain. What I love to use this point for is that it's really good to calm the mind, specifically transform phlegm in the mind and open the heart orifices for manic depressive symptoms. So it's really good for manic depressive or bipolar. I love that point, specifically if you combine it with stomach 40 and other points like kidney 9. Very good, powerful point. And so, having said that, it also clears heat like most pericardium point, as we see by now, and it is really a very good point for febrile disease, especially for alternating chills and fever, kind of Shaoyang syndrome, used for things like malaria. Obviously, it's not going to cure the malaria, but it is going to help reduce the symptoms of chills, alternating chills, and fever. So that's a really good point, and it's very often used for seizures as well. As you can see, all other pericardium points are used for tremors. So I love that about PC5. Ha ha ha, PC6. Well, now, PC6 is a very, very, very commonly used point in clinical practice. It is located too soon above the crease of the wrist, between, again, the palmaris longus and the flexor carpi radialis tendons. So that point is used a lot. People can massage it or acupressure it a lot on their self. I use it a lot for morning sickness. One of the main focus of this point is that it brings down stomach chi for people that have nausea, morning sickness, and vomiting, acid reflux, belching. So it really calms and harmonizes the stomach. It is the luo connecting point of the pericardium to the sanjiao. So because of that perspective, it is really good for neck pain because it's related to the sanjiao as well. And it's really, really a great point because it's the yin-wei confluent point, which connects to the yin-wei extraordinary vessel. And so it's really good for anxiety. If you have specifically anxiety at night when you're about to want to go to sleep, but any kind of anxiety creating palpitation or chest pain, that is really a really good point, specifically when people are so irritable. They're very irritable, kind of like liver personality, I would say, kind of like the Juayan liver personality. That is a very good point for that as well. It is used in general also because it is the commander point of the heart, chest, and stomach. It is really, really good to use when there is specifically anxiety that bothers your stomach, creates palpitation, but also makes you nauseous, or acid reflux or belching, specifically heartburn or acidity in the stomach due to anxiety. PC6 is fantastic point. Love PC6 for anxiety and for nausea, morning sickness. I just slid this little graphic into it because I absolutely love this combination called the Buddha's Triangle. And it's combining PC6 with Heart 7 and Lung 9. And as you can see, they form a triangle. It's a very good combination for people that have been depressed for many, many years, for people that have repressed emotion and can't let them out or can't voice them or can't deal with them and repress everything, and people that have a lot of anxiety. So this is a very good combination and it works very well. I love the Buddha's Triangle. Pericardium 7, another point that's fantastic. So pericardium 7 is at literally the transverse crease of the wrist, in the middle of it, between the two tendons of, again, the palmaris longus and the flexor carpi radialis. PC7 is a shoestring point, it is a urine source point, and it is a ghost point. Wow, that's a really powerful point on itself. Now, as a ghost point, it is in charge of treating, unfortunately, a broken heart. So if someone had a broken heart due to whatever reason, maybe it's someone broke up with this person or they lost someone dearly, there is definitely a broken heart, someone hurt that person, and something happened. And so this is a really good point to put as part of a treatment. It's a very good point to calm the mind. So great for insomnia. Heart 7 is one of the best points for insomnia, but pericardium 6 is absolutely fantastic when it comes to insomnia. So it really is good for people that just don't sleep at all night, right? So it is really calming the mind, specifically for people that are very manic, that are, aggressive and violent in their manic behavior, I guess, and for people that have anxiety, specifically when there's lots of stress. It's used as well for febrile disease because it clears and drains heat as well. Bad breath, because of course, again, it's related to the stomach and brings down the stomach, but when there's excess heat. And for people that are delirious during fever, this is a good point as well. So because we have a lot of points for febrile disease, but this is when it gets into convulsion and delirium. So that's a really good point for that as well. Pericardium 8. So pericardium 8 is a little bit more sensitive because of its location. It's located at the center of the palm between the second and the third metacarpal bone, but it's also easy to find if you gently made a fist with your fingers of your hand, but not hard, just gently. That would be where the middle finger lands. That's where PC8 is. PC8 is a ghost point as well, and a yin spring point. So as a ghost point, it is used mostly for people that have paranoia for many years. So that is a really good point. Specifically paranoia, if you use stomach 40, because paranoia is usually phlegm, and this is a really good point to release phlegm that's misting the mind or creating phlegm in the mind. And so this is a really good point for people that have mental disorders accompanied with paranoia symptoms. It's really good for clearing heat of the mouth, so specifically clearing heart fire that's affecting the mouth, like mouth ulcers, mouth sores, tongue ulcers, of course, and bad breath. It can be used for nausea and vomiting as well, to bring down the nausea and vomiting. I think PC6 is probably the best point for that. You can use it for cardiac pain or chest pain as well. But I would think, again, the Shiklev point is probably the best point for that, so PC4. And then it's used for anxiety as well. But I really think it's a great point for paranoia, and that's what its main function would be for me. It can be used also for fungus, because it clears damp heat. But I've never had any success with that, so I'm not really sure if it works really well, or I didn't do enough of a treatment for it. Pericardium 9, the last point but not the least, is the only Jingwall point that's not located close to a nail, except for kidney 1, which is underneath the sole, but most of them are really close to a nail. So this is a bit easier to prick to bleed because it's further away, and it is obviously, as you can see, located at the center of the tip of the middle finger. This is a Jingwall point, like I said, and as all Jingwall point, it is used for loss of consciousness and for febrile disease. But because it's also, of course, a pericardium point, it's really good when there is cardiac pain or palpitation or chest pain. But what makes it a little bit different is that it's also used for stiffness of the tongue, specifically due to heat or excess type, or swelling of the tongue and aphasia. So I found that it makes it a little bit different in that perspective. There you have it, all 9 acupuncture points of the fantastic pericardium meridian. There's not that many points, but they're very powerful. In the comments below, you could leave me what's your favorite acupuncture point when it comes to the pericardium. Is it pericardium 6? Very possibly, right? And don't forget, if you want more, I got tons of stuff on AcuProAcademy.com. Courses, I offer CEUs, PDAs, course continuation, education, if you need them, free courses as well, tons of graphics, videos, and resources with PDF, all free. You can enjoy them. And of course, check me out on Facebook at AcuPro Academy, Instagram, let's connect there. I love the stories. And then subscribe to my YouTube channel and have a fantastic day. Keep rocking it using TCM.